Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel. Today we will learn together how can we pass parameters by objects and object reference to a function in Python. So parameter passing in Python is similar to call by value and call by reference in other programming languages. In general, when you pass a parameter to a function, you are actually passing a reference to the object. The reference here is the memory address, okay, of the object, which is the variable, and the reference itself is passed by value. So the reference of that variable is passed also by value. So we have passing by the value of the variable, or we can pass the address, which is the reference, as an argument to the function. We will practically conclude that. This means also the function can modify the object, which is the variable, but cannot change the reference, which is the address of that variable, to point to new object. So the function can modify the object value, but cannot modify the address to point to a new value. So the original variable will remain the same, whatever the variable is. If it's immutable like list, or immutable like a string or a constant. In Python, the concept, or the whole concept, is called call by object, which means that we call by the value of the variable, or we call by the object reference, or mean that we call by the address of that variable. In the following, we will show consideration for passing immutable or immutable objects to a function, where the immutable object can be changed within a function. So if I have a list and I pass this list to a function as an argument, then this list can be changed if I have some internal routines inside the function that will affect the list. For example, if there is a method to append to this list, then the original list outside the function will be affected. However, the immutable objects, such as, for example, integer, will not be exchanged and will not be affected by the inner methods. Okay, the immutable objects that are contained inside the immutable objects can be reassigned. What does that mean? That means if I have a list of integers, I can reassign the value of any of these items. Let us start coding just to figure out what do we mean of passing by reference, or passing by object, or passing by object reference. So we have many different outlines. The first outline we want to speak about, which is the immutable objects, such as string or integers, are not changed with the inner method. So if I have a function age, for example, and this function will accept age as an argument. So let me to say this will go for age individuals, just to give it a name different than the variable name here. Individuals. Okay. So if I have as this variable age equal 25, okay, and this function will does nothing, so it will accept an argument, okay, and there is an internal variable, which is age 25. So there will be no return, no print, nothing. Okay. So if I have outside the function like age variable, okay, the global age variable, and I want to put inside this like 40. Now let us revoke this function, or recall this function. When I recall the function, I have to insert inside the function the variable age, okay, and I want to submit inside this function the age var, which is the age var, which is the global variable, okay. Now, if I submit the global variable to the function, that means this global variable will not be changed if any method inside the function will consider this variable. So if I will print this age variable, it will still the same. We will have the same here 40, and in the previous tutorial we mentioned that if I want to intentionally change this global variable from outside, okay, the function, this global variable can be changed if I use this statement global age variable. So I call this global variable from outside, and now I can change it inside. So because this age var is global and identified outside the function and hold integer value, and the integer value or the numerical value here is immutable, so this immutable object are not changed with the function when we send them inside the function and do whatever we want to do. For example, if I will say here age equal 25, so let us print this age inside the function, and when we recall, we will see we have this age 25, and the outside is the same. And now we concluded that if I have a global variable outside the function, we submit this global variable inside the function, this global variable will not be changed or affected inside the function or with any internal method of the function. This is the first thing. The second thing we want to speak about, which is immutable object. The immutable object, such as a list, this list will change, okay? If we submit it inside the function, then it will be affected or changed by internal methods. So I want to diff here, for example, again, I want to diff age, let us to say age, and I want to pass this like age list, okay, like this. And this age list variable, I want to consider this age list, and I want to append inside this list directly this age 60, okay. I will do nothing, but I will send a list inside this function, and directly I will append, okay. Now the list from outside will be affected, now will be changed. So I have age list, which is a list of 30, 35, 40, okay. And now I want to call the age function, and I want to submit the age list, okay, which is the global variable here, but it's immutable now, and it will be changed because it is immutable. So when I submit this immutable list inside the function like this, directly internal method, which is append, will affect even the global one. So let us print this age list from outside. It's age list and not list here, okay. And I want to print it again age list or list, just give letter T here, and let us execute this, and we will see here I send this immutable object, which is a list, to a function, and I printed it before calling the function. It prints the original list, okay. But when I submit this to the function as an argument, I see it is affected now. It's changed because the immutable object, such as a list, can be changed with the inner methods, okay. So this is one useful note we have to consider, okay. Now, the second thing that we want to, the third note we want to speak about, if we rebind the local variable with the global one, okay, what does that mean? That if I give for this function, if I use the same name, which is age list, okay, and this age list will be a new list, not this one. So I have this one, and I want to rebind the same name, okay, then the global variable cannot be changed. So if I put inside this list, for example, 44, 55, 55, 66, okay, then I say age list dot append 60 inside this one, and I can say also age list just to keep it later. We can say how can we reassign. Okay, so I can print this. I can see here the original list. So here I rebind the same name variable. So I have the variable name or the argument name is called age list. Okay, and if I give the same name, okay, to the to a new internal variable of the function, then when we submit the external global variable to the function, this will not affect the outside list. So because we like override the external list by a new one with a new variable, so this will consider only the internal variable. Okay, again, if I have a function that will accept a temporary variable or a parameter, which is age list. If I use the same name, okay, directly with the list, okay, then when I recall the function here like this, when I will recall this function and I pass any list from outside, this list will not be affected. This list will still the same because we submit this age list, okay, to the function. However, the same name of age list is inside here. Okay, if I say age underscore, not the same name. I don't care about the name of the global. I don't care about the name of the global list, which is the one outside. But the name of this argument or parameter is typical to the one inside the function. Then this will not be affected, or the global list will not be affected at all. Okay, so consider this. If you have or if you rebind the parameters or the argument name to a new variable inside the function, then the outside list will not be affected. As you can see, we printed the age, which is this one, and we printed this. Then when we recall the function, this list doesn't contain any value. In this print, it doesn't refer to any value from this, but it refers to this value. And later we printed the list again. The other note that I want to speak about, which is the reassignment of immutable object. For example, I can say age list, okay, of 2, which is the index number 2 will equal 22, like this, meaning that I can change. So here we use this age list, which will come from outside, and here I didn't rebind. I used this one directly. I appended this, and the fourth comment we want to highlight that the immutable object, such as a list, can be the immutable items such as integer inside immutable objects such as a list, for example 30 here or 35, can be reassigned. What does that mean? Look to this line 24. Reassign mean we can change the value by assignment. This equal mean assignment. We assign age list to by a value 22, and we notice here that this value has been changed. So you can change the value of a list by using the assignment. Okay, now let us speak about the concatenation of immutable objects such as a list. I can design a global list like this, and I have here a function that will accept this age list. I can use like this. I can concatenate the original list. So I use the age list, which is the same variable. I can say plus to use the augmented assignment operator, and I want to augment this list by, for example, 22, 33, 44, 55. Okay, and this will affect the global list from outside. So here, because I here rebind the same name, but I use the same list from outside, okay, which is this one, okay, and I augmented this. I concatenated to this list, to the original list from outside, this list. So in this point, we have to conclude that if I had an immutable object such as a list, we can concatenate to this list inside a function, okay, if we use this syntax. We use the same name here, and we use the augmented assignment operator. Just remember one thing, that you cannot do concatenation by using the normal assignment, which is the age list plus this list, because Python prevent the concatenation using the normal assignment. We have to use the augmented assignment. So this list equal plus another list will not work. So we have to use the augmented assignment by using this find value plus value, okay, and this will be concatenated in this form. So we have to conclude that the immutable objects such as a list, which is the most common used data structure in Python, can be changed if I pass it, okay, to a function, and if I didn't rebind the name, I didn't use the name of this of the variable or the argument variable inside the function. I didn't use, for example, the same name. I didn't rebind that name. Okay, then the list can be affected or can be changed by using internal methods such as append, and it can be affected or changed when I use concatenation into it. It can be affected or changed when I use the reassignment. I can change the value of this for the integer, such as a constant integers or a string. This because are immutable when I pass them to the internal function. This will not be changed. That's quickly what do you mean when we pass the immutable object to a function as an argument, or passing by object or the reference object in Python. Thank you.